Animal Crossing. Today we are ranking 15 pig villages today. And I'm also going to include like the things I did for last time. So if you guys like wondering what things that each pig villager assembles and which will be the best for each sort of island and that sort of thing, and I'll probably recommend it, to be honest. So if you guys are interested in putting different pig villages to recommend for whatever island thing you're looking for, then I'll recommend it. So let's get into the videos, shall we?
So our next villager is Angus, who's a Sicily villager or Uchi villager. Well, I had to go with egg and core and cottage core in the end because I couldn't think of any other categories she might be suitable in, and also other iron cores in particular, but those are the ones I could only come up with. But I also gave her a 9 out of 10 because her design's very different from all the other pigs a little bit, which makes her look very iconic, but then she could also be in farm core, for example, or golf core. It sort of depends. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Boris, who's a cranky villager. Well, the only thing is that the only core I could only pick through in this category would be desert core, because I've noticed now during the 2.0 update we've now experiencing more different cores now, such as desert core, tropical core, any other core that you can think of. But I was thinking desert core is not one of the popular ones that I would probably suggest for you guys, but at the end of the day I feel like Boris, his design's a bit off-putting a little bit, but that's why I'm giving him a 4 out of 10 because although he might look like a villain out of Aladdin from previous Disney films, then you could sort of see him in that, couldn't you? But he looks a bit quite crafty a little bit, doesn't he, and quite evil. So I thought, well, he could also be a villain in that sort of perspective. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Chops, who's a smug villager. Well, I know for sure that no one's the biggest fan of Chops these days, but I'm thinking the only core I could only suggest for him would have to be gold core, because I don't know why gold core is now a new core, iron core that you can go with, but I'm not really sure what I would probably go and think about, ever got any opinions on it or anything like that. Well, that's what I mean. It's kind of hard for me to sort of interpret when it comes to that gold core in particular. Plus, I've not seen gold core irons before, so that's why my knowledge is a little bit limited. But again, I know he's not one of everyone's favourites or everyone's cup of tea when it comes to Chops, but that's why I give him a 1 out of 10 because I don't know why, but his design's a bit off-putting for me, and plus you guys could obviously agree on me with this because he's not he's probably one of the least popular villages that you could ever think about, and also underrated villages as well. So let's get to the next one, shall we? The next villager is Cobb, who's a jock villager. Well, the only core that I could think he would be more suitable in would probably be golf core, because his design is very unique. It's definitely very creepy as well for some of you that might not be biggest fan of Cobb in particular, but he's definitely one of my favourite sort of pigs that I like at the moment. But although I've not got my farm core iron, so he could be farm core or probably golf core in particular, but that's why I'll give him a 10 out of 10 because his design's very fitting, and plus it's all combined together, and I like that. Although he might be creepy for some of you, but I do like Cobb because he's kind of a funny little. I like how he's named after the corner of the cob, which is why I gave him a 10 out of 10 in particular. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Curly, who's a jock villager. Well, I don't know what's going on at this moment. I keep getting more jock villagers than other species at the moment, but Curly is definitely no exception, although he might be the least least probably villager there is in the game, but he could only fit one core in particular, which is farm core, because the way he has this sort of attitude that he feels like he's the boss or the manager of the farm, or just the farm, or whatever you guys are thinking about him. But the thing is, he sort of puts me in that pursuit, putting him in farm core, although I didn't pick him as one of my ones that I think, yeah, he could fit farm core, you know what I mean? But the thing is, I had to give him a 2 out of 10 because I know he design's a bit off-putting for some of you, and plus I'll totally agree, and plus I don't know what he's like in general, so that's why I've also given him a 2 out of 10. So let's get to the next one, shall we? Our next villager is Go, who's a normal villager. Well, I'm sort of thinking to myself, what category could I put her in for island cores, for example. Well, I had to go with city core in particular because somehow if you go inside her house interior it looks like a bank, and I thought, well, she's definitely a businesswoman in particular, isn't she? And she owns her own bank in the game. I thought, well, I'm really happy for Gallery in particular, but she's not one of my favourites in particular. But I only think I'm gonna probably give her will be an 8 out of 10 because her design's like, you know, very combined, and she's also a sweetie pie and that stuff. And plus, if you guys are like looking for her for city core islands, I recommend her for city core straight away. I can't think of any other core that she'll suit in any order or format or anything like that. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Hugh, who's a lady villager. Well, I would obviously recommend him in Kid Core because his design is like very iconic, and it's a lot of like mixtures of like dark blues and light blues combined. And plus, he's definitely a good villager to have on Kid Core Islands. I can't imagine him being any other core than that. But although, if you look at his eyes, it gives me that sort of sense of feeling is he got like something to do, like a sort of thing going on with his eyes, because they're that multi-coloured eyes, aren't they? So I can't think of the other word that I was going to go with, but if need be, you guys can correct me for that. Because I was trying to think of the name for what of the eyes that you get when you have one eye like different than the other. I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but I also give him a 7 out of 10, but I wasn't not sure what I was going to give him, to be honest. Of looking at his design, it's pretty like, you know, stand out, and plus it's hard for me to rank a little bit, but you guys can go high or low when it comes to him. So let's get to the next one, shall we? So my next villager is Kevin, who's a jock villager. Well, the thing is, Kevin, he sort of resembles his like former self, Kevin Bacon, who's quite famous in a way. But the thing is, he looks like he's more like a rock star sort of fan when it comes to looking at like rock bands and that stuff. He wears that sort of like shirt and that stuff. But I think it's like a jacket, not a shirt. What was I thinking? But he could also be in city core as well because sometimes you get a lot of popular rock bands in the city, so that's why I was thinking Kevin could fit into that. So if you guys are still looking for city core videos, there will be a few that I might have put in the city category that you might be interested in if you want to know that. But I've also given him a 9 out of 10 because somehow he's now my new favourite, because he's kind of like, you know, more popular than all the other like sort of pigs there are. But again, I'm not sure he's in tier 1 though, so whatever tier he's in, I'd like to know in the comments from you guys, please. Let's get to the next one, shall we? My next villager is Lucy, who's a Peggy villager. Well, the thing is, Lucy, she's kind of a spooky sort of pig in a way. She likes to sing, and plus she's wearing this little outfit that looks like a doll dress as well. So there's 2 cores that I'll recommend for her, one being goth, one being fairy core. So those 2 combined are the best ones I could go with for her. But I've also given her a 6 out of 10 because I couldn't think of what I should probably give her in particular. I know that everyone's not a big fan of Lucy these days, but I know for sure that if she had more fans, I would have given her a higher sort of thing than a 6. But again, 6 is quite good. If you're thinking about like ranking other videos like lower than 5, then yeah, that's kind of bad, isn't it, in a way? So that's what I mean by that. Really. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So my next villager is Maggie, who's a normal villager. Well, there are quite a few different personalities in the pig species, but the most common sort of personality is definitely jock villagers that I might probably say anyway. But Maggie, I feel like she fits into 2 cores, like nature core and maybe farm core, because of her design. And plus, I noticed that inside her house interior, it looks like she owns her own like little garden, and she looks after her plants from time to time. So you know what I mean? She cares, and that's what Maggie's all about. Well, I've not had her on my island before, but I am getting her a Mimo card, just to give you like a sort of like a little hint that I might be getting her a Mimo card soon, so I can get her on my island. So what I'll probably do, I'll do more of an updated island tour of my island, and you might get to see Maggie in person, or she might be unboxing her bags. It all depends really, but I wanted to give her an 8 out of 10 because the design's like, you know, like a regular pig in particular, and plus she could be popular whenever everyone's looking for Maggie in particular. But to be honest, I never see everyone like have her on their arms, but there might be a few people that might be a big fan of Maggie in particular, but some maybe not, but who knows. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So my next villager is Pantetti, who's a snooty villager. Well, the thing is, she's a little bit on edge, but she's the only snooty sort of pig there is in the species, unfortunately. So you're thinking to yourself, why is Snooty the least popular sort of sort of personality in the pig species? Well, I don't know really, but the only core I could go for Pantetti would have to be cottagecore because of her design, and plus she might be living in a kitchen area, and plus she might be cottagecore related to everybody else. But if you guys are a big fan of her because of the design being a bit on edge, then I'll probably agree with you, because I'm going to go with 4 out of 10 for her today, because I don't know why, but she just looks a bit off-putting, and I don't understand what's going on with her right now. And plus the design's a bit too lopsided. I don't know what I'm supposed to say on that part, but you know what I mean. She's a bit of a hard one to sort of think about reasons on sometimes. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So my next villager is Peggy, who's a Peggy villager. Well, the thing is, I feel like she can also fit city core again, but I don't know why I keep going with city core today. It seems like everything I think about when it comes to categories with these pigs is city core for some reason. Well, she more like fits in it because she looks like a bit of a well-known sort of character, isn't she? And plus, if you're going to Harry in Paradise, she asks you to build like a supermarket. So, in a way, it gives me city core vibes in a way. So, you know what I mean? I feel like she might fit that, but she could also fit cottagecore if you guys are thinking about cottagecore villages. She could fit that as well, but I don't know if it would be the perfect aesthetic for her, to be honest. But I don't know what to sort of give her in particular when it came to like out of 10, but I had to give her a 7 out of 10 in particular because it's hard for me to sort of rank them sometimes when it comes to looking at the designs, because it just puts me off sometimes, or it just makes it hard for me to rank sometimes. Well, I don't know, to be honest, but let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Rasha, who's a cranky villager. Well, there are a few cranky villagers in this sort of species, but I'm thinking there's only 2, to be honest, because I've not seen the other cranky villagers in particular, except from Boris and Rasha. But the thing is, I was not really sure what I was going to probably rank him, but I think it's the design that sort of puts me off a little bit, because, and plus he's named after a bacon, so that's not good either, is it, in a way? But I was going with gothcore in the end because of his design. It's kind of like, you know, creepy, and you might think that yourselves because you're thinking to yourself, yeah, he's kind of creepy, he's kind of mean, he's all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? That's why I give him a 2 out of 10, because he's kind of more like the most underrated sort of villager, because how his design sort of puts him in that pursuit a little bit and that stuff. Well, that's what I mean. If his design was not like this, everyone would have him on everyone's islands, wouldn't they? They would always have him on their islands, and it wouldn't have been a problem like that. Let's get to the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Spalk or Craggle, because there's 2 PL versions of his name. So in the UK we call him Craggle, in America we call him Spalk, which is kind of cool, isn't it? And he's also a lazy villager. Well, the thing is, because I'm quite fascinated about the PL version of his actual name, it makes me feel like, yeah. And plus he has got the same birthday as Maggie as well, so they're both kind of like birthday twins in a way. So that's what I mean. They're both born on, I think it's the September the 3rd, so it makes sense that they're both actually like twins, which is kind of funny, which is quite a weird coincidence as well. But the only 2 cores that I would like recommending him will probably be gothcore and cottagecore, because looking by design, some of you might find him creepy, so that could mean he could be included in gothcore. But if he's a cottagecore villager in your sort of book, then I'll recommend him in both of those cores. But I'm also going to give him a 5 out of 10 because he might not have a lot of fans out there for poor Spalk in particular, and plus he needs some more fans out there. That's why I give him a 5 out of 10 as a safe spot for him. So, because I know he's not everyone's like cup of tea, or some people like him but they're not sure what to do when it comes to him sometimes, but you never know. It's kind of like mixed opinions and decisions when it comes to Spalk or Craggle in particular. Let's get into the next one, shall we? So our next villager is Truffles, who's a Peggy villager. Well, the thing is, I was very confused when I was thinking about the cores, when iron cores with Truffles in particular, but I had to go with fairy core, because in a way Truffles has got that sort of like supreme in her, and plus she looks kind of pink, so that's why I went with fairy core in particular, but I couldn't think of anything else. But it is kind of hard to like sort of rank her in a way, so that's why I gave her a 6 out of 10, because I know she's not everyone's favourite sort of like, you know, villager because of her name Truffles in a way, but again, Truffles could also mean that she might be related to like maybe a mushroom, or could she be related to an actual cake? So you can argue both ways on that, but to be honest with me, I had to give her a 6 out of 10 because I couldn't think of anything else for her in particular. But I wish I had more fans out there, that's all I sort of care about really. Let's get to the next part, shall we? Well, that was a lot of villagers that we had to rank today. 15 pig villagers. Well, I might start doing like horse villagers in the week, but I might do it around like maybe the 1st of May, which is Sunday. So give it 2 days from now, and I probably would do that just so you guys know what's going on, okay? Make sure to leave a like on this video, and if you're new to my channel and want to see more of my content, please subscribe, because there's a variety of content you might enjoy, might involve Animal Crossing content or Metopia content. It all depends really. And also turn notification for further Animal Crossing and Metopia content from me. That's what I say. Bye from Animal Crossing, and I'll see you in the next one, so bye!